This is not your mother's Mahabharata. Beware. It's fucking epic. Hosted by SP Jayaraj.
Welcome everyone to Not Your Mother's Mahabharat. We're going to have a fantastic show today. With me as always is my wife, Azure Anderson.
Hello, hello, hello.
That's hers today. And with us today is a good buddy of mine and fellow mythologist, I will say, Andy Blissenbach.
Woo!
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, this is. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. This is great.
You also have no idea what's going on.
No idea what's going on.
Yeah.
I feel bad about it. When I got here, I had to admit I've never listened to the podcast. I don't really listen to many podcasts, to be honest with you. I just like to read, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, no idea.
Okay.
I know a little bit about the mythology, but not very much. So yeah, just pumped to sit and listen a little bit.
You not knowing anything about it and not listening to the podcast makes you a perfect candidate for here.
Awesome.
So,
oh yeah,
yeah, this is going to be. I like to ask two questions.
Okay.
And I'll take it from there mostly, but it's basically you talk, you chat, we have fun. It's a good fucking time.
Awesome. That's
we
fantastic.
learn, we grow.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I'm going to tell you a story,
always.
and I'm really happy to have you here for this particular story.
Oh my god. Why?
I'll develop a little bit more on that after I ask you my two questions. And
Sure.
one
Sure.
is, what do you like about stories, Andy?
What do I like about stories? Wow, that's a great question. I like about the first and foremost, stories entertain, right? They fill our lives with all sorts of wonder and mystery and horror, and they kind of show us the best of humanity and the worst of humanity. I love how a good story can kind of open up your perspective to the world, kind of show you something that you've never seen before. And also just make you appreciate and love humanity. That's one of the things about art in general. You know, when you see you see a beautiful painting or you see a wonderful musical or a play, great movie, great TV show, read a good story.
Yeah.
It's a masterclass in human potential. It's
Yeah.
like what a human being can actually achieve and the greatness that a human being, and you feel kind of a oneness with other people when you
Right, with like
really
great
good story.
stories, I think when you're doing it, especially like in a communal environment, I think that's why we love going to the theater, and like you have that feeling of like when something happens, someone's head gets chopped off, depending on the movie.
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit, but everyone's got that same holy shit moment together.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, the communal aspect and then
Absolutely.
So, this is an ancient story we're telling called the Mahabharata.
Right.
What is your familiarity with the Mahabharata?
Well, I know that it is about two. Is it like warring clans or like families, like two warring families?
All right.
Yeah,
Cousins. That's right. It's
Yeah.
cousins. Yep. I should have bumped
It's
up
cool.
on the research
It's
here
cool.
before I came over here.
No.
But no, I know that's what it's about. Obviously, it's tied in with Hindu mythology. It's like other than that, yeah, I don't know much. I do think it'll be probably pretty cool because there are demons involved, right?
Oh yes.
We
have demons today.
Is there violence?
There's demons
this is
today?
the introduction. Oh my god, dude. We're
Yes.
probably gonna co-tell this story just for the hell of it because there's a couple fight scenes.
Oh, I love
okay.
fight scenes. One of my favorite things to do as a writer is to write fight scenes. You feel the blood quicken. You feel like you really immerse yourself in it. Love that stuff, man. You get the descriptive verbs. Love it. Good action stuff.
Go ahead.
At some point, we need to ask Andy who he is.
Oh, we should do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good little transition since you're as a writer.
yeah.
You like to
Right.
write.
As a writer.
Before I get too excited.
But yeah, before we get too so
Yeah.
far in and so excited that we forget all about your
because this is what you and I do
Right.
when we get together. We get carried away about shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And now that you've already brought up demons and just aspects of
I know
writing
I
and
know we
fighting,
just want to
Yep.
dive in, but yeah,
it's very easy for us to get into our like writerly testosterone
Right.
going here.
And get sidetracked.
some
So-
manly things happening here.
Manly things.
Before that shit,
Bam.
Andy, buddy, who are you? Tell us about yourself.
Who am I?
Yeah.
All right. I'm Andy Blissenbach. I'm a 45-year-old father of 2 wonderful girls. 13-year-old, well, about to be 13-year-old,
Oh my
and
gosh.
a 9-year-old. One's a volleyball star. The other one's a great soccer player. I'm happy to be the soccer player's coach, even though I know nothing. I was a football player in college. So I don't know much about soccer, but I know that you got to play hard and you got to hustle. And I'm good at yelling at kids, so.
That's like half of it, at least, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh, absolutely.
At
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be fast, be tough, be aggressive. The rest of it will kind of take care of
Figure
itself.
out the rules later.
Yep.
Tell
Yeah.
us about your creative writing life a little.
Oh, sure. I went to Hamlin with Satish. Got my MFA in creative writing. I specialized originally in creative nonfiction. Published about, 20, 25 essays on various topics. Most about masculinity, modern masculinity, stuff like that. Everything from
Been
like
published?
Yeah, from like the blog,
Yeah,
and just like
totally.
other thing and other other websites and
should know more
little
about that.
journals
Okay.
and stuff like that. But no, it's fine. It's not a huge deal. But yeah, and they're just just little bits on everything from like weightlifting to cutting my hair to spitting to and obviously I had one where I walked around the city of Minneapolis, just kind of talking to people and living the life in the city. And just that I did that for a long time, but now been working on it for 3 years, a historical horror fantasy
Hell yeah.
that takes place in the Byzantine Empire. Well, they considered themselves Romans, so Eastern Roman Empire, in the 6th century. The first a blooming of the bubonic plague happened in the 6th century. So
Yeah, and I've read the first couple chapters of that.
Yeah.
And I am excited for
I can't
Yeah.
wait to read
With
this
that
shit.
done.
Yeah,
no,
it's-
no pressure.
Yeah, I'm
but
about-
I would really like to
Oh, yeah.
read this.
almost 400 pages into it. I mean,
Holy
I've
shit,
only got about
shit.
100 pages left.
Yes.
So it's
man,
coming together.
okay.
My goal, I think I told Satish this earlier, my goal is to finish, I want to finish by the end of the summer. I'll get my first draft done, but
Yeah.
by the end of the year is probably a more attainable goal. But
Cool.
I'm writing every day. So yeah, I'm loving it,
hell
man.
yeah.
It's crazy. Multiple first person perspectives. Yeah, it's just weird. It's big. It's a wonderful, in depth. A lot of great, primary sources to work with. A lot of great thinkers, writers, philosophers. A lot of great Christian stuff. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. It's really cool. It's a great setting.
I'm really excited for this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk writing after we turn the mics off and shit.
Sure.
But for now, yeah. Okay, so this story, there's a central character here. So I wish I was more organized in like who I invited to like which part of the story.
Sure.
And it doesn't matter because the whole story's been fantastic so far. It's just kind of funny when I have, like in a previous episode, we had someone who just, as most of us do, identify as feminism, but did some feminist works. But the whole episode was just a pissing contest.
Sure. Sure.
So,
That one was great.
yeah. This one, however, there's one single star of this. And this is the dude, Andy, who, if like we were to do those quizzes on like, oh, which superhero are you? Which Pandava character are you?
Sure.
Like, to me, this is your guy.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
of course, you can, disagree with that later and shit.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
we'll see where we're going.
Yeah.
So,
I think I know who we're talking about.
yeah, right? See,
Cool.
Aj already knows who we're talking about. Especially with stuff we've just mentioned. So, yeah. So, yeah. I'm going to tell a story. My goal with this is that you understand what's going on, so just ask any questions, and
Sure.
yeah, you shoot the
Am I free to cut in at any
Yes.
time?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I can just cut in and be like, "Hey, what's with all this?
Yes.
What's
Yes.
that guy?"
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm gonna ask too, being the tin-eared white guy that I am, be like, "How do you pronounce that? And what's that? And
Yeah.
stuff like that."
And I will
So-
answer that acting as if I know.
Okay.
So
Right on.
because I've heard different pronunciations myself.
Sure.
So here's where we left off last time. So our main characters that we're going to follow specifically here are the Pandavas. So they are, you said you knew it was about two different cousin families.
Right.
So one is the Kauravas. There are 100 of those bad boys.
100.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Are they still in teenagers or are they older now? Older now.
Now we're getting a little bit older.
Okay.
So let's
Good.
throw them in the 15-year range at this point.
They're still teenagers.
And, well,
they're
a
grown
little
men
older
then,
now.
huh?
Yeah. Let's go with 16.
Great.
Yeah.
They can
because
drive.
there are so many different versions of this, like, there's no way of knowing.
Okay.
My process is I'll read a whole bunch of different versions of the chapter I'm going to tell, and then I tell the story.
Oh, okay.
And so each version that I read is going to be kind of different.
Oh, okay.
It's just the nature of how this is being like an oral story tradition.
Sure. So, I mean, is it kind of like the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, how all of them are pretty much similar, but, there's some slight differences from perspective here and there?
I haven't read those, or I'm not familiar with that. Once you start a podcast on that material, you can invite me on to be the ignorant glouch.
Absolutely. I've read a lot. I've read a lot of the Gospels doing the research for the book I'm writing.
Yeah.
So it's just
So-
it's always in my head.
Well,
so.
I'll give you this a little bit. Like, the Mahabharata is thousands of years old. It started as an oral story tradition.
Right.
And so there are different versions of it. There are different opinions of it. It is a story that has kind of adapted characters that were not in possibly the earlier editions or versions of it, kind of came into it. And so it captures, so it's changed with, like, the history as well. Certain, I've read some accounts where certain gods, like Shiva and Vishnu and Brahma, who are right now like the Holy Trinity, how the Mahabharata originally was being told before there was a concept of them, and then they now have parts in the story as well. So yeah, I will read different versions. I will read and pick and choose how I tell the tale this time. It'll be different than another time I tell it. So, and it's something that, because it's an oral story tradition, why I love doing it this way is that it really is like the relationship between us as we tell the story too.
Sure.
So, this way of telling it is going to be very fucking different, but it's recorded. So,
yeah,
we'll see how it changes things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you have the 100 Kauravas, led by the oldest prince Duryodhana. And Duryodhana has just had his father, the king, send his cousins, the 5 Pandavas, to this palace in another city, secretly, or not secretly, but basically, go have a good holiday. Mm-hmm. And then tried to burn them all to death.
Sure. That's a real good holiday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, that house made of just everything flammable known to human beings.
So
that's what the house was made out of.
It was elaborate. They built an entire mansion
crazy.
out of every flammable material and covered it up with paint, and then had them go there, and then a month in to make sure that they were chilled. The idea was that they would burn it. Oh, fortunately, they came to know.
I mean, they walked in and they smelled they're like, this place is going to go up any second.
They didn't do the best job. One, they were kind of tipped off, fortunately.
Sure.
But also, they didn't do the best job of covering up the smell. Yeah. These dumbasses are still young in their murder plots.
Sure.
This is not the first murder plot that he's done.
Right. I mean, you want to get 2 or 3 murder plots in before you're 20.
Exactly.
I mean, you really want to.
You're going to learn. You'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot.
Everything takes practice.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's good to fail a couple times and learn from the experience and
Absolutely.
successfully kill people in the future.
I'm sure Dahmer had some, learning curves.
He had some failures.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure. So these 5 they escaped through a tunnel. This is the podcast.
Okay.
This is exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
So they escaped through a tunnel.
Okay.
And the place burned. And now everyone thinks they're dead.
Sure.
And they've kind of decided, the 5 Pandavas and their mother, that we need to be here a while. We need to let things lie. Let them think we're dead because we were lucky to know that they were trying to kill us.
Right.
So until some things change or we get some allies or something, let's lay low, let them think we're dead, and figure out what we're going to do.
Sure. Just to get back to the numbers situation. We've got 100 people versus
5.
5. Okay. Yeah, beautiful.
So the 5 are... So the mother is Kunti.
Okay.
Okay. And then the 5 Pandavas are Yudhishthira, Bheem. Bheem is our boy.
Bheem.
Okay.
Arjuna.
Okay.
And the Nakula and Sahadeva.
Okay.
We're mainly going to be talking about Bheem today.
Okay.
But then also a little bit Yudhishthira. So,
okay.
Yeah, if you forget any names, just let me know.
Thankfully, the one we're doing today is the most easily...
Bheem.
Yeah.
Easily pronounced. Yes.
Yeah.
Pronounce that easily and remember
Absolutely.
that. I got that. I got this. Okay.
Cool. So, now Bheem is a strong motherfucker.
Nice.
Like, we should talk a little bit about what we've covered with Bheem. He is the son of Vayu, who is a god of the wind.
Okay.
I equate that to, especially with our conversation, like a son of Thor in that sense.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
He's a strong motherfucker.
Nice.
He was so strong that when, like, his mother, when he was a baby, she tripped over something. He fell into a rock. They thought he died, and only the rock died. The rock was smashed.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Just the rock died.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's not evolving anymore. So he was even strong as a baby. He went on the last murder plot against him. He ended up like increasing his strength by 100 fold because he got sent to like a
Getting in the gym, bro.
Getting
huge, bro. Making gains.
and drinking a really
that's how
good
he
protein
talks.
shake.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's how
Yeah.
he talks.
It probably helped. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely talking like this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got sent to an underworld. He drank like a magic potion, and he increased his
Right.
strength 100
He drank
fold.
more than one magic potion.
He drank 7.
They gave him one, and he said, "I'll take 6 more."
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And he
on.
drank all of them, and
Is this like equine steroids and human growth hormone? And,
Basically.
like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Ancient Indian, all of that.
Okay.
But yes. And somehow connected to snakes as well, like they made it. So
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So he's a strong motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
So they have just kind of escaped this palace, and they see it burning in the distance. They kind of come across a river, and then there's someone there, and he, fortunately, is allies with them. They don't know him, but he tells them the riddle that they know. That's like, oh, you know the person who tipped us off, who's actually the other Uncle Vidura. So he takes them on this magical boat, and they go even further away
Okay.
from where this all happened.
Okay.
So they land up at a place, and they just keep trying to get further away at this point because they don't know the guy who built the House of Luck, who was the person the agent who was going to kill them.
Okay.
They left him in the palace when they burnt it.
Oh.
So by their account, he should be dead.
Should be.
But there have been murder plots against them.
Yep.
They don't know shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're like, if he's alive, we're still in trouble.
Right.
yeah.
Now he did die, but they don't know that.
I don't know
right?
that he died. Okay.
So they go deeper and deeper into this forest, and Bheem, because he's the strongest, he ends up carrying like all of them.
Okay. Wow.
So he's got his mother wrapped around his neck. He's got the twins, the youngest twins, on his arms.
Okay.
And then he's got Yudhishthira and Arjuna on his shoulders.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
quite a scene.
Dude is strong.
Yeah, right?
And also, I mean, kids should do a little work, man. They should actually walk themselves.
Yeah.
They've had a journey. They've had to run through
Sure.
like a smoky tunnel.
Sure. No, I get it.
They're exhausted.
They're probably whining too. So,
Yeah.
Maybe the twins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the twins.
Actually, the mother.
Oh, the mother probably
Yeah.
is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she starts like, we just can't. I can't keep going.
Okay. And so
but the mother makes it. You should carry your mother.
No, you should.
Yeah.
You should
The
be nice to mom.
siblings,
Yeah.
they can walk.
So the forest you speak of is that like kind of the Indian like kind of like is it around India or in India or
Yeah,
is
so
it...
this whole thing is happening in Bharat,
Okay.
which is what has become known as India.
Okay. Great.
I don't have any specifics on like what direction they're going or anything
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
okay.
But this is all happening in what is current day India.
Okay. Cool.
So he takes them really far, carrying them on, and he's the son of the wind.
Right.
So he's running really fucking far, for miles and miles and miles with them.
He's really Forrest Gumping it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's really for his company, and again, over like different types of terrain. Like he's everything you just asked, like he's going over all the Indian terrain here.
Sure.
And it just, now, of course, they're not like running or walking themselves, but even this is exhausting for them. And they do come to a point where I was like, we can't go further. Like,
we can't hold on to you anymore,
Yeah.
Bheem.
yeah. And again, it's mostly like his mother.
We're hungry and tired.
Yeah, they are.
That's fair.
And they found themselves in like a jungle where there's like some food, but not too much, really. But that's just where they've landed up.
Okay.
When you're running aimlessly, that's the shit that's going to happen.
Sure. Yep.
But Bheem does smell, or like he does hear some kind of water birds. So he's like, we're by a river. We're by a river.
This is great.
Let's eat some water birds.
Yeah, let's eat some water birds.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I don't really think that's what he was going for.
Yeah,
Maybe?
he was good mainly for drinking.
I thought you were going for fish.
Oh. For some reason, right now it's water.
Okay, they're just thirsty.
You can survive you can't survive 3 days without water? Is that the old
probably
idea?
2 or
something
3.
like
Yeah,
that?
that'd be real rough to go any more than that.
We're actually going to get into food as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he sets them down by this big giant tree, and he goes to and he finds the river, and just gorges himself, like satisfies his own thirst.
Sure.
And then he has his cloths, and so he like soaks his cloths. He's a big guy too.
His what?
He has some sort of
Cloths.
material.
Oh, cloths.
Yeah.
Okay.
His scarves, his tunics, or
Nice.
yeah. So he just takes that, he just soaks them completely, and runs back to his family, who are like semi-sleeping, semi-unconscious, and just like squeezes into all their mouths like a night, and like just
Here,
to get
suck
them
on
some
this
kind of
for a
life.
while.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
And
Yeah,
Sounds good.
That's probably easier than cupping your hands.
Yes.
yeah, it's a
And
long
running.
way, so
Yeah.
this way at least.
Yeah, because it will stay in the cloth. I guess it's not a terrible idea considering you don't have any type of
That's
thing
a
to
pretty
carry
good
it.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually
That's brilliant.
I mean, it's kind of gross, but
It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
But
But
you
they're
do what
family,
you got.
I
yeah,
guess.
and you got to do. I mean, we're on the run from
What's a
a
little
bunch,
sweat?
bunch of scary people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably the best thing that's happened all
Yeah.
day. So.
But the stuff that you're mentioning, like he makes sure that they all have like the water, that they're sleeping, and he's still not. He's kind of tired,
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
but not super. Yeah, and he just kind of sits there and gets a little introspective and laments a little bit. And
Bheem.
so they are the Pandavas. They are princes of a great nation. Just less than a month earlier, they were in the palace, sleeping in soft beds, getting all kind of luxuries that they could offer, and loved by the people.
Yeah.
His older brother Yudhishthira, was just crowned as there was a ceremony that made him the crown prince, which meant that that he would be the king as soon as he comes of age.
Right.
And all the people loved him. Like all the people loved Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is the son of a god of justice, and so very much embodied that. He was a person who truly won the hearts of the people, like honestly and meaningfully. So everybody loved the Pandavas much more than they did love the Kauravas.
Ooh.
And which is half the reason why this should happen.
Sure.
And he's thinking also like his heritage, and he's mostly thinking again like of his mother's heritage. Like his mother was also a princess, should be a queen. They've lived when they were born. They were actually born in not like barren woods like this, but they were born in the woods as well. And like it was lovely when they got to the palace. And so he's just lamenting on all this, and he's like, God. Like people who are alone, who have no responsibilities, like they just going
So
off.
he's had a lot taken from him.
He's had a lot taken, and like the whole family has,
right,
and it's all because of this. His cousin Duryodhana, who's instigated a lot of all this.
Okay,
and just
he's really got it in for Bheem.
Yeah,
like unrelenting.
Is there a reason for that, or is it just like?
Duryodhana, it's this. Like, Duryodhana of the Kauravas wanted to be king. His father is actually currently the king.
Okay.
But it was, Yudhishthira was made the crown prince, so he would take over. Duryodhana wanted it all.
Right.
So there's a lot of jealousy from that.
Yep.
And then the fact that the Pandavas are loved by everyone, more jealousy from that.
Right.
So it's all just jealousy and
grossness.
I want the kingdom. I'll do anything to have it. And he's got people around him who are also older and cunning as well, and like influencing him to do some of the stuff as well.
Shiftier.
Yeah, absolutely.
So But Bheem is like, if Yudhishthira had given me the command to fucking kill you, I would have fucking killed you, and none of this would be happening.
Right.
But Yudhishthira, I have to respect my older brother, and so he just like laments on his own.
Yeah.
And in some versions I've seen, like, his brother Sahadeva will wake up and speak a little bit with him and just comfort him that he's like the wise one. It's like, this is horrible, but things are going to be fine. We're all together, and all stuff to kind of calm him down. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and so, but then, and then Sahadeva goes back to sleep, and Bheem is just with himself and contemplative and settling down a little bit just to get all this out. Mm-hmm. And then a beautiful woman walks into the scene.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that always happens to me when I'm on the run from like a bunch of people trying to kill me. A beautiful woman comes into play.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Always happens.
Have you met their brothers?
No.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Just a little foreshadowing is all.
Oh dear.
So, hello, dear listeners. Satish here. I believe that creativity and imagination lies at the heart of everything we do. But stress and negative chatter can turn us away from reaching our potential. But there are things that we can do about that. Through my business, Imagination Life Coaching, I can help you find yourself amongst the chaos. In a sense, I help you unlock your inner dragon. One of our guests of the podcast, Kate Shooknecht, had this to say about Imagination Life Coaching. Working with Satish and Imagination Life Coaching has been a thrilling, life-giving experience. After even one session, I felt my perspective shift from overwhelmed and slightly directionless to excited and purposeful. Satish is a gifted listener and was able to customize several suggested strategies for me to push through multiple challenges. In 3 sessions, we were able to tackle time management, negative thought patterns, interrelational difficulties, and more. I felt results immediately. Much of Satish's success is that he has spent time studying and researching a wide array of methodologies and has put them to practical use in his own life. He is able to put together precise, individual recommendations. I highly recommend Imagination Life Coaching for anyone looking to improve their life. I can see how this service would be especially beneficial to artists, but I certainly believe in its value to help anyone achieve the best creative potential for any aspect of their life. Thank you, Kate. Enter the promo code NYMM20, that is NYMM20, to get 20% off your coaching package. Back to the show. So she kind of comes in curious. She's like, what are you doing in this jungle and forest? And she's looking at him.
Sure.
And she's looking at him.
Hey, big guy. Like that?
Yeah, because my dude's swole, right? I
mean, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. And she notices all of it.
Okay.
And she's come up and she's like, well, do you know who rules this jungle? Like, how are you here? And so they start to talk a little bit. And there's definitely an attraction going on.
Okay.
And
I mean, the family's asleep.
Yeah, the family's asleep, for sure.
Wink, wink.
And he kind of pinpoints, like from some of the stuff she talks about, her awareness of things. And I think there's a point where she's like, you smell like you've come from, like, another place all the way here. Weaves in some nice things about how wonderful her sweat smells as well.
Oh.
And very,
heck yeah.
Very specific stuff. And he kind of figures out, like, you're a Rakshasi, i.e. a demon.
Yes. Here we go.
And then she spills the beans. Oh. She's like, yeah, my name is Hidimbi. I live with my brother Hidimba.
That's not confusing.
Yeah. I've seen other versions where they're both Hidimba, just one has a different A to it, but I'm going with the Hidimbi version specifically.
Thank you.
For the podcast.
Some differentiation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, she is a demon. She actually shapeshifted to look as beautiful as she does now.
Very cool.
She is as kind of like as tall as Bheem is.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But basically, her brother mostly kind of smelled them. It's lucky that he didn't kind of approach himself when Bheem went to the river to get water. Mm-hmm. Hidimba, terrifying demon. I've read different descriptions of them, and because it's you, I'm going to go with the description of the one that has bat-like properties.
Wonderful.
So bat-like ears, fangs, vampiric in some way.
Very cool.
So very Kurt Langstrom? Is it Kurt Langstrom?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man-bat.
So very man-batty, big
cool.
giant man-batty with, I guess, white fur.
Oh, okay.
White fur?
Yeah, or pale fur.
Oh, cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So that's her brother, and that is her, usually, like I said, she's shapeshifted. Mm-hmm. And, but they smelled them, and was like, they've eaten everything. They've eaten boar, they've eaten elephant, they've eaten horse, but nothing tastes as good as fucking human.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah. Nothing tastes as good as human.
Especially these well-fed humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meat on the bone.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And, like, clearly it's still carrying some aspects of wealth on them. There's going to be some rich meat over there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But he's a lazy bastard. Mm-hmm. So he sends her to do the killing for him.
Right.
He's like, we smell this. Go get us some fresh meat. I smell at least 4 or 5 of them. And she's gone to get them, spies them to, like, with her fangs ready, and then sees him. And then all that energy goes more to her groin than to her stomach.
Oh,
Sure.
Oh.
So.
Well.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say heart, but I guess...
Right to the vagina.
Right to the hoo-ha area.
Yeah. I'm going to say that for now, yes. Right to the hoo-ha vagina area.
Hoo-ha vagina area, he says.
That's very technical.
Listen to this guy.
Yeah.
Technical
Listen
term.
to this guy.
Hey, this is a Sanskrit epic, okay?
Right.
This is...
Oh my god.
I'm quoting directly.
Right.
Okay.
Oh
So...
my god. All right.
But... She's like, let me whisk you away. I can get you out of here. I can fly. I'll take you to the world. And...
I can show you the world.
Yeah.
The kids were just
makes
watching
sense.
Aladdin the other day. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
So...
Promise not to eat you immediately. Sorry.
She may be interested in some kind of meal.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Just a nibble.
Yeah.
This is
and he's
sexy.
Yeah. Like I want to eat you, but I want to, have sex with you too.
Kind of like, I
It's
see.
really
Yeah,
vampiric, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's like, let me take you away from here. And he's like, well, I got my family's here. Like, there's no way in hell I'm leaving my family and my mother. I was never going to anyway.
Right.
But now that you tell me your brother's on the hunt for human flesh, no.
She just like outright told him this.
Yeah. She spills all the fucking beans.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
What a terrible huntress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take it back. It's not sexy anymore.
Well-
She's just sad.
Now, in some versions, there's this idea that she, as a Rakshasi, like, where she's bullied by her brother as well to kind of do his thing.
Sure.
Not that she hasn't eaten human flesh. I'm pretty sure she's still at some point eaten human flesh. She's definitely eaten all the other weird things.
Sure.
Which I guess, it's weird to me anyway to eat elephant.
Yeah.
Not to everybody. It should be,
So
though.
judgy.
Elephants are awesome.
Yeah.
I agree about that.
Yeah. And so, she spills the fucking beans, says, let me whisk you away. He says no. And she's like, all right, well, I can take them as well. Like, it'll be a little bit more effort. I can whisk everyone away. And he's like, they're sleeping right now. We've had a long journey. You have no idea the times we've had. They're exhausted.
Stuff.
I'm not waking them up.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't give a shit about your brother. Like,
Right.
I'm not afraid of this guy.
Right.
So, they go back and forth a little bit where she tries to convince him. And at this point, Hidimba, the brother, is like, where the fuck is my meal of 5 people?
Right.
So he's coming and approaching the situation. So he comes in, sees that his sister has shapeshifted to be beautiful, and realizing that what the fuck is going on.
Like, not this again. I thought you were over this phase, sister.
Yeah. And he's like, what? So he interrupts and is like, what the hell is going on? You were going to betray me. And Bheem sees the demon and just doesn't give a shit.
Right.
He's also been on a long journey. Like, he's still kind of tired, but he's still like, he doesn't give a shit.
Right.
And at some point, like, Hidimba lashes out to just strike at Hidimbi.
Ooh, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, and Bheem gets in the way.
Sure.
Like, protects her.
Yeah.
He was like, no, absolutely not. And so, And then it's a lot of fucking boy talk between these two.
Oh, here we
It's
go.
a lot of like, yeah. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why aren't you running away? It's like, I'm not some afraid of some pussy ass demon, you know? Like, it just gets back and forth. And then so Bheem is like, all right, like, let's fight. Let's go away and fight. I don't want to wake up my family.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 o'clock at the flagpole.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, absolutely, man.
The demon doesn't give a shit.
Right.
And so lashes out, claws out. Bheem, like, gets them in the hands. And,
Sure.
And they start to fucking wrestle.
Yeah.
And every time the demon is about to, like, yell, like, Bheem somehow, like, covers his mouth.
That's awesome.
Sure.
To stop him from screaming.
Don't you dare wake up my mom.
Not wake up my mom right now. Right?
Mom needs her sleep.
Yeah. She's had a shitty day, God
You
fucking
think
damn
you're
it.
a demon? Wait till she wait.
Yeah.
She doesn't get her full 8 hours.
He, like, drags the demon away, and then they can fight a little bit more freely. And it's just a fight between two Supermen, right?
Sure, yeah.
Like, it's a Superman Doomsday match right now.
Right.
And they're, like, throwing trees at each other.
Nice, of course.
Oh boy.
All sorts of chaos. And at some point, with ripping out tree roots and throwing it at someone, that makes a lot of noise.
Quite a ruckus.
Yeah. Because there's people in the forest to hear it.
Yes.
That tree falling.
Yes,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
true.
That's true.
Yep.
Including the other 5 sleeping human beings.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they hear the forest, the trees that have fallen in the forest.
Yeah.
So they wake up and they see Hidimbi right in front of them. Just they can see a commotion going. They realize that Bheem is the one fighting someone. Kunti immediately acknowledges that this is not a human being in front of her. That there's something magical and mystical about her. And just like, who are you? What's going on? And once again, Hidimbi just says everything. He's like, yeah, I was going to come and kill you all. But then I fell in love with your...
then I got horny.
With your son.
Yeah.
And now,
I mean, I thought he was
and then he
pretty
protected
cool.
me.
Yeah, he protected me. I was really into how he protected you.
And now he's
Right.
fighting my stupid brother.
Yeah.
Yep.
My energy that was down there is now actually a little bit in my heart now,
Right.
just to see how noble he is.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool that he's fighting my brother.
Yeah.
He protected me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just
All
going
of
to
that.
stand here and watch you guys sleep. Oh, wait, you're awake. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's she's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just it's like it's like Shakespearean almost
Yeah.
with this is it's wild stuff.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
So, Arjuna, one of Bheem's younger brothers, and fantastic with the bow. Fantastic with the bow and arrow.
Nice.
He kind of grabs his bow and goes and he sees them like wrestling. And Bheem's doing decently well, but I think part of it is he's still trying to be quiet.
Sure.
Oh, he doesn't know they're awake.
Yeah. And he's just been wrapped up in that, and he's just wrestling, and Arjuna's like, let me help you, like, separate, goddammit, like, and then I can end this, like, right now.
Right.
Let us help you fight. We're awake now.
Yeah.
There's no need to, like, fight quietly.
Right. It's actually very polite of him.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Yeah.
It is very
he's a really
sweet.
sweet.
It's really sweet.
It shows you that he's a good person.
Yeah, he
and
is
you want to root for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a
Yep.
sweet, strong guy.
Yep.
And at this point, he's in the throes of, like, I can handle this myself. And now he kind of just able to go completely all out. Yeah, beats the shit out of the guy. Rips off his arms. Whatever you want to do. Whatever.
Beautiful.
Just,
Does he rip off his arm and then hit him with him? Hit his
our version,
head
yeah.
with the arms and
yeah.
yeah,
But
that's pretty
absolutely, like, demolishes and kills this fucker.
Sure.
cool. Yeah,
And,
fatality.
yeah, absolutely. Fatality.
Bheem wins.
Yeah. So, Bheem wins. So the family's like, okay, well, this shit happened. The oldest brother just says, like, we should, like, this forest is pretty evil, and you can see why now, like, because of this guy ruling it. Let's just get out of here. Let's leave. Mm-hmm. And as they're leaving, like, Hidimbi comes and, like, falls at Bheem's feet.
Sure.
And, like, just gushes for him. Doesn't give a shit that he just killed her brother. In some versions, relieved. But more versions is just, like, just wants to be with this guy.
Right.
Wants to be with Bheem. And Bheem is hesitant.
I mean,
Because she's a demon.
She's a demon. She's a shapeshifter.
yeah,
Yeah.
And she eats people.
yeah.
Yeah, those are
I'm also reading into
a lot of red
like,
flags.
But I feel like there's a lot of abuse happening for her.
Absolutely.
There was a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
absolutely.
there's a lot.
There's
There's a
trauma.
lot of trauma happening.
Yep.
That had happened to her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even as a demon.
Oh, yeah.
Poor thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so the fact that he's kind of saved her from that, and so she's fallen deeply in love with him, and she begs, and then he kind of like resistant to the idea, and she turns to the mother and like begs her, it's like, you know what it's like when you fall in love, and I don't know if I want to live anymore, like I'm never going to eat humans or beings again, I promise. Sure. Pinky swear, you know. Yeah. And Yudhishthira starts kind of arguing, and they realize that Bheem is blushing. Like, Bheem is...
Right, there's some mutual attraction going on.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. Bheem is definitely interested, but he's got to do it. He's got to stay with his family and things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but they kind of talk it out, and they need to be away from civilization for a while anyway. And in the end, like, Kunti kind of like, okay, this is something you want, you know, and like Bheem does kind of want it. He looks to Yudhishthira, the older brother who isn't married yet, and he's like, I don't care, yeah, like, you love her, this is meant to happen.
Yeah, that's the guy to ask.
Yeah.
Go forth, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
Live thine life.
Yeah. So they have what is called like a Gandharva wedding, which is a wedding in the woods where you don't need like witnesses and things like that.
What?
A Gandharva wedding, because the Gandharvas are like these, I guess, tree spirits.
Oh, okay.
And when they get married, because they're tree spirits and because there's life in trees, like they're fine with like the trees witnessing a marriage.
Oh, okay.
For it to be official.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it can also be like one of those things that's like, hey, the trees are going to witness it. Nobody else has to. You know, you can be sneaky about it.
That was 4 to 5 generations before this.
Okay.
Where that happened.
Okay.
So they get married, and Hidimbi, using her powers, she kind of builds up this hut for them and manages to make sure that they do have more food. So they actually have like a little bit of a better life with like some kind of resources going around them.
Well, that's very useful.
Yeah.
She's very useful.
She's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Excellent daughter-in-law.
Yeah. And because the kid is still young, they come up with this agreement as well. Like, yeah, Bheem can be with you for like most of the day. Just let him spend some time with his family every night. So that's the life they lead. They go off, do what they do. She takes them and shows them all these other places. A lot of fucking.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I suppose if you're a shapeshifter, you can. I mean, she could probably change into anything.
Yeah.
And she, you know, his wildest fantasies. You know.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can change it up and.
Wow.
I want to marry a shapeshifter. That'd be pretty cool.
That sounds like a 90s movie.
It does. I married a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's an earlier story.
Rick Moranis.
I know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that would even be a comedy so much. Like everyone would be like, I want that too.
Rick Moranis, Pauly Shore, shapeshifters. Yeah.
But only the wife shapeshifts to Pauly Shore. The shapeshifter is Pauly Shore, but Rick Moranis doesn't know it.
Right.
Yeah, that would be killer.
So the demon version of him is Pauly Shore.
Correct. Yeah, Pauly Shore is the demon. Sorry, Pauly Shore. I don't know what you're doing right now, but probably not that.
There's an earlier episode of this where there are two shapeshifters, man and woman, and that's what they do. They shapeshift into every animal and each other.
Wow.
That's just their relationship.
Yeah. They will not fuck for like years and years and years because they're immortal, and that by not fucking they gain like immortal powers.
Okay.
And then every once in a while they're like, all right, let's just fuck like crazy. Let's do it as deers. Let's do it as ants. I don't know. And then we'll shapeshift back and then go another 100 years. Yeah. You know?
Okay.
So
that's a kink, man.
Yeah, welcome to the Mahabharata.
Yeah, that's wild stuff. It can't be mythology without animal sex. I mean,
it's
you know, some type of, or even bestiality or incest.
It's all there.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All the gossip stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that
all the
gossip
stuff. Yeah. Yeah, incest doesn't come to my knowledge.
Okay.
That's fascinating.
Well, I guess there's the twins. That's a different thing. Okay.
What?
So we covered that already. You might have to go back and learn some episodes.
Okay, yeah.
Or we'll just talk later and I'll catch you up. So that because I
don't have to tell me. You don't have to go back.
Well, Nakula and Sahadeva,
the
two youngest, their mother fucked 2 twin gods.
Yes.
And when you fuck 2 twin gods, that's how you get 2 twins.
Yeah, but that's not
okay.
incest.
No, it wasn't incest.
No.
'Cause, well, I don't know what they did between themselves in this ruckus.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
Definitely something to think
I'm
about.
guessing not,
Absolutely.
but
I'm going to think
we're
about
going to
it.
leave that in the ether. Okay.
Anywho.
Yeah, anywho, back to like where we are
Wow.
now. So, yeah, these 2 are having a great time. These other ones are there living in the woods and the forest, living on meagerly and learning from that experience as well. And Hidimbi gets pregnant. And, yeah.
Demon baby.
Semi-divine demon baby.
Sure. So a semi-divine person can have sex. I mean, hey, it's mythology.
Yeah.
Everybody can get pregnant.
They're all human beings.
Right. Okay.
Except for the shape-shifting
What's
demon.
whatever the term is, but yeah.
Humanoids?
Well, even humanoids, that's it. They're all humanoids.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they have a child. When the child is born, he does look like, he looks both. He looks like divine and demon.
Okay.
Well,
Cool.
and there's
That
something
is
about how he's born. His head is like really smooth, like a water pot.
Nice.
What?
And so they name him Gatot Kacha, which is something to do with like a smooth water pot head.
Smooth water pot head.
Yep.
Yep. Kids are born. I want them to have 10 fingers, 10 toes, and that's smooth water pot head.
Water pot head. Yeah. You got yourself a Gatot Kacha.
Yeah.
You got that.
What the fuck? Alright. So literal.
Uh-huh.
It's just so...
Well, mind you, most of these names in this time are
I know,
literal. Like
I know,
all of
I
them
know.
are in some ways
Right.
literal.
I know, like, I mean, my last name's Anders' son.
Right.
You know.
Oh yeah, it's
You
true.
know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I get it. It's just...
The most
funny.
clear
It's
example
funny.
for me is, I mean, we have one guy named Drona, which is like another name for a pot. So he was
Bucket.
literally named Bucket.
Cool.
And I'm assuming you've heard of the god Krishna.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Krishna literally means the dark one.
The dark one.
Yeah,
I am the dark one.
just like dark skinned.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
I thought more like
So
soul dark.
less
than skin
Mordor
dark. Okay.
than yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right on.
more just like,
More
that's
just
what he
little,
looked like.
dark skin.
Okay, very
So-
cool.
Yeah.
Right on. So maybe it's like the first thing you see when your kid's born, like a can of
Yeah,
sparkling
yeah.
water.
Yeah, someone could have
I
been called.
mean-
Well, I don't want to do name brands, but yeah.
People do that.
Uh-huh.
Hashtag.
Check out Can.
Yeah.
This is my daughter, Can. Spelled with 2 A's.
2 days.
Can. Hi there, listeners. Azure and I hope you are enjoying this podcast as much as we enjoy making it. It would really help us out if you could like, share, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening to it. What also helps us out is simple word of mouth. If you're at a party and someone starts saying, "Hey, I have a great story," don't even let them start. Interrupt them immediately and say, "I know a better story, and I know where you can find it." Seriously though, word of mouth is one of the most trusted ways that we can spread the word about this podcast to share the story of the Mahabharata. You can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/spjayaraj. That is patreon.com/spjayaraj. And join the community over there too. Stay tuned to the end of the episode where we will ask our episode question that you can answer on the website in the show notes below. Alright, back to the show. So, Gatot Kacha grows up quickly. So, in like 2 weeks, he's already kind of walking.
Oh, okay.
And
So it's like a soap opera. It's like, you remember back in the day when you'd watch a soap opera, a kid would be born, and then like the next episode they're 6, and then they're a teenager, and then
Yeah, and then they're
Yeah.
gone.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
and then they're like adult and like
Yeah, and they're adult, and then
Really
they can,
part of the soap opera
part of the
already.
whole deal, even though
And the main character
only, like,
becomes a
month has
grandma
gone. Yeah.
at the age 30.
Yep.
yeah
Yeah.
to the
And,
bond.
So it's a soap opera.
Yeah.
100%.
So in this soap opera, he's like growing up, and what's nice is that all the Pandavas now get to teach him skills, and the kid is definitely powerful. Like he's got his father's strength, and he's got some magic coming in as well from his mother's side.
Demon.
And so, but they're teaching him like the Vedas, so the ancient texts of wisdom.
Yep.
That's Yudhishthira's teaching him those. His father Bheem is teaching him how to use a mace, because that's his kind of weapon of choice.
Yes. Heavy bludgeoning weapon.
Heavy bludgeoning.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially for a strong guy.
Yeah.
Arjuna's teaching him the bow, and then Sahadeva and Nakula are teaching him all these other like skills of sword fighting, but then just all the other kind of forms of wisdom as well.
What's
And,
Kunti teaching him?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, that's sad.
That is, I'm sure she's teaching him
How
respect
to
for
cook
women.
and clean.
I don't know.
Probably.
There's
No,
no
probably
mention
not.
of that, so I don't know.
Okay.
But they're teaching him all these
How to
skills.
respect women. I like that.
Yeah. So
Important quality.
important one, yeah. And yeah, so Ghatotkacha is growing up with this. He's quite attached to his uncle Yudhishthira, who's teaching him the Vedas and like this, just the ideology of justice and things like that.
Everyone loves him, so that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's true. Everyone loves him. So he is forming like kind of a special bond with him and growing up fast. And yeah, a year passes and he's already kind of an adult. And there's something about like the luck in some versions I've read where like the Rakshasa wedding is only for a year.
Oh.
Yeah, that's some versions, but basically there does come a point when Bheem and Hidimbi need to go their separate ways.
Oh, so like a mythological divorce, or is it just like?
So the one idea of
It
the
just,
whole
like,
Rakshasa
expires?
wedding, it just like expires.
Oh, it just is done.
Yeah,
Yeah. Huh.
Okay.
All right.
yeah, got a child out of it.
We had good times.
Yep. And there were other accounts I've read where they don't actually get married. And another accounts I've read where Kunti is not kind of happy about this whole relationship, so she allows it to happen for a while. Mostly because they have their destinies, these 5 Pandavas. They're going to take over
Right.
Bharat, like they know that needs to happen. They cannot spend that time in the jungle for their whole lives.
Sure.
They do need to be together. And Bheem as well, like this, it can't be your entire life.
Yeah, and you got to move the story along too.
Yeah,
From
exactly.
a narrative perspective.
This is fun for now.
Right.
But
He's not going to settle down.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No.
Yeah.
He's still young too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, what is he, like 16? 17?
I would say maybe 17.
Good
This
grief.
this was a full-term pregnancy. Not all of them have been.
Okay.
So they were there for at least a year here in this
Okay.
situation. So, but yeah, it's just then decided that they'll kind of go that the wedding's done. It's time to kind of everyone to move on. So, and Ghatotkacha either goes with Hidimbi or even go because he's an adult now. So he even goes on his own. But he tells the Pandavas that call me and I will come. If you need me for anything, I will come.
Sure. Just yell really loud, or
Because
or
he's
just
like,
psychic, or
I mean, he's got
oh right, how did I?
he's got like a quarter of the god of wind in him.
oh sure, I'm sure
Yeah.
if you
Just
could whisper something
whisper
on the
something
wind,
into the
and it
wind,
would get
yeah.
it would get
Yeah.
there. Yes.
He's just very.
Yep.
He would just hear.
Like
He has good magical instincts.
I need
You know.
toilet paper.
I'm in the third stall.
Uh,
Please
the-
send help soon. It's been 20 minutes.
They're banging on the door.
I'm scared.
Like, I'll get you toilet paper again.
And it just floats up over you.
Yeah, he
Anyway.
just throws it with like a wind
He
thing.
throws it far. Very, very far.
Or just throws a tree at them, like, use this somehow.
Sure.
I mean, depending how many times they've
These
asked, he's going to get
poor
annoyed at some
trees.
point.
I know. A lot of tree destruction.
Yeah.
I know. Must be like, yeah. That's where all the open areas are now. Is
is-
where all these battles have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the trees are gone, so like this is where all the plains are of India, right?
They just decide. There is
Yeah.
like discussion, like we're looking at like Hidimbi, who's like a demon of the forest,
All right.
and then you have like the Pandavas who are now from civilization, and so there's a lot of like, yeah, like the wildlife, like living a wild aesthetic or living as in civilization.
Sure.
There's a lot of that like thematically in the story too.
Sure. Absolutely.
And so, yeah, so Ghatotkacha grows up and just kind of goes on his own way. And at this point, the Pandavas and Kunti are visited by the sage known as Vyasa, who's an old sage.
Vyasa!
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back.
Vyasa is the one who kind of keeps coming into the tale to do deeds and like to speak some wisdom. And So Vyasa comes back and he tells them that he just knows that they were alive, in spite of the fact that everyone thinks they're dead. Just kind of knows it because wise sage and all that shit.
Sure. Sure.
And he tells them, okay, there's this town called Ekachakra in this direction. It's a small little village, very meager. That's where you need to go to fulfill, like, as part of your destiny. So, go there as brahmanas, and I will come see you in like a little while. So they dress themselves up as now the Pandavas are Kshatriyas. They are warriors, right? They are warrior kings. So it's one class of people. The other class is the brahmanas, where they live very meager lives. Begging for alms.
Sure.
And kind of go into themselves. So kind of akin in some ways to the wise men and then the sages, but living that kind of lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So they kind of disguise themselves as brahmanas, but in disguising themselves, like, this is the life they're going to lead for a while. Mm-hmm. So they go to this town of Ekachakra, and Vyasa recommended like one certain family to stay with, the brahmanas. So they stay with him and his family, and they live with them. The people are very gracious to have them live there, and this becomes then their life. They go out and they beg for alms, they do blessings, and they just, very meager lives. Mm-hmm. One thing about Bheem being a big motherfucker,
right?
Bheem loves to eat.
Yeah, it's got to eat a lot.
Bheem loves to eat, and so what the Pandavas end up doing is, whatever they get in the day, Bheem gets half, and then they split the rest amongst themselves.
Okay. And
it's still not enough for, at least, again, coming from being princes and kings.
Yeah.
But so they always have this kind of state of a little bit of hunger. And this is something that comes into like some of the yogic sciences as well, where like this is in a way to be and to hone your mind. To have like your blood kind of more in your mind than in your stomach. And the food they're eating as well is mostly what is described as like sattvic food. By some circles, there's some different ideas of what that is, I think. But it's a simple food, simple healthy food, not like heavily spiced or anything like that.
Right.
And it's food that does allow them to live in their minds more, just become more, I would say in some ways more intelligent and introspective, and be better thinkers. Right. Just be much better thinkers.
Right.
And
so it's not about like bodily, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Like bodily, like, oh, never mind. The hell with it.
So, like,
you come up with it.
Or like sustaining?
I'm just thinking of a very specific thing, and I
bodily constitution?
Yep. No, it's just
bodily function.
No. I'll come back.
We'll come back to it.
I'll get it. Bodily function.
Yeah.
Do you know what the food is? Do you know, like, do you find a recipe somewhere?
No, but I'm guessing
I'd love to be able to think better.
Well, I have a feeling it's like...
Is it what we're eating right now?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's what we're eating right now.
Hell yeah.
We're doing like an Ayurvedic diet right now.
Is that like
we're fancy?
Like,
okay, so
not a lot of fat, not a lot of salt, not a lot of sugar, not a lot of spice. Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah,
it's mainly vegan. It's basically vegan.
It's vegan. There's a little bit of ghee, but the most interesting one for me in this, which I'm gonna say correlates to this, is for breakfast we're having like sprouts, which is like we have
mung beans.
Mm-hmm.
We sprout them.
We sprout them ourselves. So we soak them and then
let them do their thing.
And drain them and then put like a wet cloth over it and let it sit in darkness. And then in a day it's sprouting.
It's alive.
It's a superfood.
Yeah.
It's a food that I think that you can't do, like you shouldn't be doing sprouts and like a full meal, because then they'll be indigestion.
Sure.
Because the body processes these things at different paces, and so there's just a conflict of bodily interest in this case.
Okay.
So that, like, this is what I was thinking about when I was reading this chapter. I'm like, oh, this makes sense. So really like simple foods, but also foods that are not like super tasty or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But they're learning, like one thing like Sahadeva and Nakul are reading, that they are able to study the Vedas
Sure.
with much better efficiency.
Sure. It's almost like kind of like the asceticism that you're talking about, like monks who just will walk off into a cave or into the desert or wherever for a long period of time with nothing but the clothes on their back and beg for alms and to kind of gain enlightenment.
Yeah.
There's a thing I'm studying right now. It's called a stylite in the early Byzantine Empire. They had these people, these holy men, would climb up on top of pillars, and they would stay there.
Yeah,
Some of them would wear chains and weights, and they would, be in the elements, and they would just have their, and through this asceticism and suffering, they would gain enlightenment, and of course they would gain a following, like a cultish following, and they, people would come by and give them food and stuff like that, and through this, like your characters here are, it's very similar.
And you can imagine that the food that they're getting in this situation and in this is like, it's not like they're not full cooked meals, like they're simple foods, like maybe they're dates in this case of yours. So I'm just guessing here.
Sure,
but so they're really feeling the benefits of this, and Arjuna kind of makes this decision that before he goes into battle, because he knows that's going to happen. Like anytime before he goes into battle, he's going to go in hungry,
right,
to make sure that that's where his that his mental energy is the highest.
Sure.
So it's not like inside. And I got to tell you, like as a creative writer as well, I do my best work when I haven't eaten like a full meal.
Right, because you just natural biological process of digestion lends itself to kind of a resting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of a relaxation.
Yeah, like the blood is there digesting stuff.
Right.
When I want it not there.
Right. We're talking a lot about blood in places today.
We really are.
We're really tackling all the fluids.
We're like scientists.
Deep stuff.
Are we doctors?
I think we're doctors.
I think we are.
Oh, cool.
I think we're doctors
I'm
now.
going to add that hashtag to all our podcasts. Hashtag doctors.
Oh, boy.
And they'll be like, what the fuck is this shit? So, now the one thing about this, though, is that our boy Bheem also getting into all this stuff, but he's losing some body weight.
Sure.
No, because he's still living meagerly.
Right.
So he is losing some body weight. And, like, part of this diet as well is, like, it settles the mind a lot.
Right. And you said probably not a lot of protein in it, though. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know the foods exactly.
Sure.
I'm guessing there's some proteins, but he's still losing some element. Like, it might just be quantity for him.
Sure.
You're not
eating as much.
But then also, like, his, like, the temperance is getting better. And that's perfect for what they're doing right now. Mm-hmm. It's perfect for what they're doing right now. Going into battle, though, this is not the mindset you want to go into.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know? So, at some point, Kunti overhears their hosts in another room, and the versions of it are really funny, I feel, but as tragic as it is. But they start kind of arguing and talking, and the father just starts, like, kind of, he's yelling at the mom a little bit. It's like, you know what, I said we should leave this place. You wanted to say, because it's your ancestors' home, and now I have to go do this, and I'm going to die.
Oh, God.
And she's like, well, no, like, you shouldn't die. Like, this was my decision. Like, I should go die instead of you. And he's like...
These are their hosts?
Yeah, these are their hosts.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's really melodramatic.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to die.
Yeah. And then
now I have to go die because of you. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'll go die. You stay here.
And
you just sit on the couch and wait for me to die. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm hearing.
She says that there's a chance I won't die because I'm a woman and he won't necessarily, like, kill me. And then, like, the daughter comes in and is like, no, you need to, like, be the father and raise my younger brother.
Right.
I have no worth. Let me go and die.
Oh my God! They're all just fighting over who gets to die.
All fighting over who gets to die.
What is this family?
Fortunately, the son comes out and he's got some, like, toy weapon in his hand, and he's like, "No, I'll go and I'll kill the demon, and it'll all be fine." You know.
What is he? 5?
Yeah.
Like a little 5-year-old. Mm-hmm. Got a Nerf gun.
Yep.
Good
exactly.
Lord.
And so. And then at that point, like, Kunti kind of, like, when there's a little bit of levity, when they're all, like, laughing at that idea, like, Kunti kind of walks in, and it's her and Bheem who are there. So then, like, Kunti kind of walks in, and them and is like, oh, what's happening? What's going on? Mm-hmm. And so then they tell her that there's this demon named Baka who used to terrorize the shit out of this village. And then, to placate him, the village elders met with him and decided that, okay, what if we bring you a shit ton of food the texts differ, but so let's say every 2 weeks. Like, we'll bring you a shit ton of food, and that'll should be enough for you. How about we do that? You'll get good food, and then we save ourselves all this destruction. Baka's like, yeah, that sounds good. Bring me food with have 2 oxen carry it, and I'll eat all the food and the 2 oxen and you and whoever brings the food.
Oh.
So.
Whoa.
Yeah, every 2 weeks is going to happen. Now.
Okay.
Glutton.
And they, it's a fucking demon in front of them. They're like, okay, but what if you also protect the town as well? They get a little something. He's like, sure, I'll protect the town.
Everyone, he just air quoted.
Yeah.
Protect the town.
Yeah. Because now
for this non-visual medium.
Yeah. Thank you. I was going to get into it, but good.
Oh, sorry.
This is why it's good to have you. No, you saved me the trouble.
You're welcome.
So that's the deal that was made, and I guess lottery style, it was this family's turn to do that. And so Kunti's like tell you, and oh no, wait, this is the best part. The family decides that, so we're just all gonna go. We're just all 4 of us gonna go take the cut. We're just all gonna be eaten. Like, that's the only fair way to do this.
Nice.
I guess that's.
Yeah,
kind
it
of
feels
sweet.
like a little overcompensating.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's the end of the line, but that's fine.
Right.
Yeah. So Kunti says, okay, well, tell you, you have 2 kids. I have 5 sons. Let me just send one of my sons. And of course, it's Bheem that she wants to send.
Mm-hmm.
And they well, you're our guest. We can't do that. And he's like, don't worry about this. And she tells him that Bheem is super strong. He has powers. The only thing is that you can't tell anyone, because if you tell someone and people come to know, he'll lose his powers.
Oh.
Which is bullshit.
Tricky.
That is.
But she cannot have people knowing that there's a strong man living there.
Yeah.
Because then they'll get discovered, right?
Yeah.
So the family's like, okay, so we'll make all the food. And the wife goes all out in making the food. All out in making, fucking amazing foods. Mm-hmm. And Bheem is going to be the one to take it. Mm-hmm. So as this is kind of going up, Yudhishthira comes back and sees that Bheem is, beaming with something. And he's like, well, were you going to go kill Duryodhana again? What's going on? So he asks his mom, and his mom tells him what's going on.
Eyes.
And Yudhishthira's aghast. He's like, you're sent, is this because of, this life that we're living? Have you lost your mind? What the fuck are you doing? You're going to send the strongest of us, the guy who, saved us all these times, who can ensure that we get the kingdom back, and just your son, my brother.
Right.
You're going to fucking
Yeah.
send him. And, Kunti, lashes back and says, you shouldn't scold your mother. It's Bheem. We've seen the stuff he's done. He will be able to kill the demon.
Right.
This is why we've come here. This is why we've been sent here, to save the town from this demon.
Totally.
So...
Makes sense.
So Yudhishthira backs down, and is like, okay, fine. That does make sense. Sorry, mother, for thinking you didn't love your kids.
Right. I mean, is there a scale of demon power, though, that I'm wondering about? Is the Rakshasa.
Yeah.
Are they kind of a lower level than this Baka dude?
Baka's, I think, a powerful demon.
Okay.
For sure. He's definitely going to be more powerful than Hidimba was.
Okay.
But at least Bheem is more vested in this case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So-
but he's undernourished.
He's undernourished.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, he's undernourished.
Yeah,
Okay, I see what's happening.
He's not at his fighting weight.
Yeah,
Right.
he's not.
Yeah.
But
Have they even spied this demon? Have they even seen it?
Yeah, what's the
The
What's the
Pandavas
scouting
haven't
report on
seen
this
him.
demon?
Yeah, they need to send a scout. Send the little kid to scout him out.
I mean, the family knows the demon.
Okay.
Because they've been the village knows the demon. Right?
Okay.
Because this has been going on for
terrorizing
a while.
him.
Yeah.
He terrorized them, and then everyone, he's big enough to eat 2 oxens, a human being, and more delicious food.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Ay.
Big up.
yeah.
It is. It's
So-
a big mouth.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Is
God.
it one gulp? Can you eat the whole thing in one gulp?
Ow.
He is twice the size of a human being.
Okay.
So the size
So
of Bheem.
no, but twice the size of Bheem, actually.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah.
that's different.
Twice the size of Bheem.
All right,
Bheem
well,
is happy to do this.
Yeah.
And so he gets the cart full of like just delicious foods of like rice and dals and veggies and spicy food now. So going away from like the Sattvic diet and more to what can be considered the Raja. I forget the word. It's Sattvic, Tamastic, and Rajasic, I think it is. And like so the Rajasic one is the one that's more fiery.
Sure.
And by some accounts, again, this is where I've seen different opinions of it, by some accounts it does include some meat as well.
Okay.
But not necessarily. It can also just be like super flavorful.
okay.
That also does it too. So spiciness for sure. So yeah, so he kind of goes, and as soon as he's out of like the village, Bheem opens the pots
Oh, of course.
and he starts gorging.
Yeah.
Of course.
know? He just starts gorging this food and is having the fucking time of his life. You know?
He does. I mean, he kind of deserved it. I think.
Yeah.
He's been working hard. I know it's kind of underhanded to take it in this manner, but he needs
Not if he's
food.
going to go kill this demon.
Right.
Who
That's,
cares?
He needs
Yeah.
his energy.
And this was Kunti's idea too. Was like at least this way, like he'll get his meal.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
he'll get a dream. Everything that he's done for now, and the guy does love to fight. And this lifestyle that he's lived, although there's always experiences and learnings from it, it's not Bheem's lifestyle.
Sure.
You know, like the guy wants to fight. He needs to get, and like to have that kind of mellowed out is not her son.
Right.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that
yeah.
way, you know? So he's gorging. He's having the time of his life, eating all the curries. By some accounts, he's eating some chicken curries. By other accounts, it's just dals and like
Sure.
fucking great food. And yeah, has the oxen go at a slow pace, burping the whole way through as well. Kind of gets there. So yeah, he gets to the, and like he doesn't, like he starts calling the guy with like his mouth full, like just
Oh,
fucking like
Jesus. Yeah.
spitting rice, like back up, you know, as he's like calling him, and you know, calls him and then like gets back to eating. And so Baka, big, giant, ferocious fucking demon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Go.
So like a
God.
Hulk version of Man-Bat, let's call him. All right. He comes and he's like, "What the fuck is this shit?
Right.
Like, what is going on?" You know, and like the guy's just gorging his food. And Baka's like, "Why are you eating my meal? I will kill you for it." And Bheem barely recognizes him. And Demon attacks. And for the first part of it, the account that I love the best is where Bheem manages to get him, because he's not expecting this guy to be super strong. So Bheem gets him in a hold, is able to hold him down, and continues to eat with the other hand.
Oh, my God.
He's like, "You stay there for a bit," and he's belching.
Oh, my
He's
God.
farting. You know, this is food he
Bodily
hasn't had.
function.
Right. Bodily
Yeah.
functions.
I knew it'd come
Absolutely.
back. I knew it'd
Yep.
come back.
This is food he hasn't had in a while. There's
Yeah.
gonna be gas in many
Oh,
forms.
yeah.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of
That's true.
air, and because he's sucking it down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, not chewing as well as maybe he
Oh my
should.
God.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
Like,
Like,
so.
Oh, my God.
So once he's eaten his whole meal, and then they get into then he like lets him off, and like then they get into like a real fight, and it's a fucking fight for the ages.
Sure.
Awesome.
You know, they go at it at each other. Bheem just basically, of course, is overpowering the whole way. I mean, it's a fight scene. You
Sure.
know,
Yeah.
it's a badass fight scene. There's more tree trunks being thrown at each other.
Poor trees, but yes.
Yeah, and like
Anybody hitting him with like a bat? Heck yeah.
absolutely.
Does he
Heck
have?
yeah.
Does he have his mace on him?
They hid their weapons
Okay.
in the forest
Okay.
because they're brahmanas.
They shouldn't
Well,
have weapons.
They shouldn't
should
have
have
weapons.
weapons.
Yeah.
So yeah. For this whole thing, they haven't had their weapons.
He can just
So
grab
they
a
are
tree
hid.
though. It's cool.
Yeah, that's
cool.
true. He
That's
was
cool.
able to just grab a tree and like smack the demon with the tree.
I love that. I'm
So
into it.
yeah, big ass fight scene, beats the shit out of Baka, and then breaks his back, kills the demon.
Oh.
And at this point, all these like smaller demons come out.
Hey,
Yeah,
you killed my papa. Like that?
I don't know if they were his kids, but smaller demons come out.
Sure.
And Bheem just is like, they see the big one fucking dead before this one guy. So he's like, "Get the fuck out of here. Don't eat human beings ever again, or I'll come for you as well." And
Yeah.
so cannibalistic demons, like they run for their fucking lives.
Oh no!
From this like demon killer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bheem takes the body and kind of leaves it at the gate of the village and sneaks back in. And so, the village wakes up and like, what the fuck is this? Baka's dead.
Yay!
They check up their, whoever had the sign-up sheet. And they're like, oh, let's go to, like, this was the Brahmana who was meant to kill him, who was meant to go, like, what happened. So the Brahmana makes up the story that there was like this other real being that came and said that they would go and take the food. No one living here,
Yeah.
Not these guys.
Not these guys.
Nope, these guys are cool.
Yeah. And
God.
that's what happened there. Like, I guess that's what happened.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So they saved the whole town.
They saved the whole town.
Okay.
But there's a secret.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've covered. I feel like we've covered maybe a couple years, but we've covered that the exile and this unintentional exile of the Pandavas. So we're going to start seeing them kind of come back into society in the next one.
And now they're all like kind of 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Ish.
And this is what's cool about
now
the
they're really
Mahabharata,
becoming
which
men.
Yeah.
they had this terrible thing befall them, but from that experience of living in the woods and then living as brahmanas, they're honing themselves. Then also as like teachers, because they taught Gathatkacha as well. And,
Yeah.
like that's how you really like learn is when you teach, right?
Right.
So they are, if they were a threat to the Kauravas beforehand, they are just becoming more and more of a threat.
Look out, bitches.
Yeah.
Here come the
That's where we'll end.
good guys.
Here come the good guys, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
I'm really happy to get into the huge fucking Bheem chapters with you.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. I liked the fact that he is so cool and so strong that he can eat and fight at the same time. He can fight and be quiet.
Yep.
At the same time, he can impregnate a demon.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive.
And he loves his family.
He loves his family.
He loves his family.
He's not just like, he doesn't just say, "Hey, I love you." He shows it by carrying them through the forest, by wringing water into their mouths.
And even like that,
stepping up for the village.
that lament that he does,
Absolutely.
where they're like tired and he's just like gets that introspection and gets angry and raging, like just because of how much he cares for them.
Yeah.
Like it's a chapter that I feel like people could skip over, but in every version I've read, like that's so much a part of the story, where like he just has this moment to himself, where he just kind of like is so like distraught about all this tragic thing that's happened, and it is really mostly like, yes, all this is happening to him. Absolutely, it's happening to him, right?
Yeah.
But he's really feeling it for his family.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's and getting angry at the same time too. So see how those kind of things go up. So
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Is there a way to finish this up?
Yeah.
There is.
There is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I say a line, and I'm just going to say it because you brought it up.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say, listeners, thank you for joining us for this one. Have an imaginative day.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Not Your Mother's Mahabharata. Please like and subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss our next episode. My name is Satish Jayaraj, and I am your storyteller and researcher. My wife and co-host is Azure Anderson. Azure also wrote the theme music, she did all the editing and producing, and essentially did all the work to get this podcast to you. Without her, it would just be me swearing ancient stories to friends in our living room. Join us next time for the next installment of Not Your Mother's Mahabharata, and have an imaginative day. And please do join the Not Your Mother's Mahabharata conversation and community by answering the following question on the episode page in the show notes. Which demon character were you most fascinated with?